Good morning and welcome to Rising. That's our show. We're happy to present it for you today, us being myself and Lindsey. Nice to see you.
Every day I get more and more excited that I'm back with you.
Oh, yeah.
Only thing I'm not excited about is these gray hairs growing out of my head slowly.
We were just talking about, yeah, I had a lot more hair when we started doing Rising
I think that's
5
what
years
happens
ago.
to people talking about politics. You remember how Obama went notoriously from like black to gray?
Every single one of them. George Bush over the Lincoln photos from the, obviously that was over the course of the Civil War, but you know who doesn't look that different? Donald Trump.
He looks exactly the same.
Not exactly, but it's closer.
Coming up on Rising, the Trump DOJ admitted that a full grand jury never reviewed the final indictment against James Comey. We'll discuss that and what that means for the case.
Plus, Senator Lindsey Graham said that he wants to sue the government after his phone records were apparently obtained during the Arctic frost investigation, but some are saying that's hypocritical of him.
And author Sam Harris went off on Elon Musk and President Trump over their response to Charlie Kirk's assassination. But first, we start like we always do. Robby, what's on your radar?
Well, this is a fun one. Oopsies. Representative Jasmine Crockett might not be ready for prime time. Earlier this week, she fired back at Republicans for receiving money from Jeffrey Epstein as part of her attempts to defend her friend, Virginia Islands delegate Stacey Plaskett, from charges that she enjoyed an overly cozy relationship with the disgraced financier and sexual predator. Crockett attacked Mitt Romney, John McCain, Sarah Palin, and Lee Zeldin, all past and current Republican officials, for them having had contact with Jeffrey Epstein. There's just one problem. The Jeffrey Epstein who donated to Zeldin, to Romney, and to those other Republicans is not the Jeffrey Epstein, i.e. the one who died in prison under mysterious circumstances and has embroiled various associates in scandal, such as Prince Andrew and Larry Summers. The Jeffrey Epstein whose political donations Crockett is highlighting is an entirely different person. Seriously, watch this.
Folks who also took money from somebody named Jeffrey Epstein, as I had my team dig in very quickly: Mitt Romney, the NRCC, Lee Zeldin, George Bush, Win Red, McCain Palin, Rick Lazio. I just want to be clear. If this is the standard that we're going to make, just know we're going to expose it all. And just know that the FEC filings, they are available for everybody to review. This is absolutely ridiculous.
Notice how she prefaced her remarks by describing the individual in question as someone named Jeffrey Epstein. Well, that part is too. Dr. Jeffrey Epstein did give money to New York Republican gubernatorial candidate Lee Zeldin. But that is not the same Jeffrey Epstein. And we know it because Zeldin ran for governor in 2022, which is 3 years after the death of the other Jeffrey Epstein, the pedophile. Now, Zeldin slammed Crockett, noting, "No relation, you genius." So Crockett's lame insinuations about Zeldin and other Republicans are false, absolutely false. Note also what she's trying to do here, which is attempting to run cover for Stacey Plaskett, who is extremely complicit in efforts to shelter and protect Jeffrey Epstein, the actual Jeffrey Epstein. As revealed by journalist Lee Fong, Plaskett previously worked for Epstein's fixer in the Virgin Islands and solicited him for campaign donations when she ran to be the Virgin Islands non-voting delegate. Here was Fong on Rising 2 years ago discussing their relationship.
As Plaskett solicited Epstein in 2018, a year before his death, for $30,000 to the DCCC, the House Democrats campaign arm. Again, that was Erica Kellerhall's forwarding on that appeal.
The House moved to censor Plaskett, but that vote failed this week as 3 Republicans joined all Democrats in voting to protect her. Republicans may have done that as part of a deal to prevent Democrats from censoring Republican Corey Mills over various misdeeds. Isn't it great when the two parties can come together to protect each other in cases of public corruption? Just another day in Washington, D.C. And I also saw that Jasmine Crockett was defending herself on CNN with Caitlin Collins, I think last night. And Caitlin Collins was like, "It's not the same Jeffrey Epstein." So she's like, "Well, I didn't say it was. We just Googled, and, who knows what's coming up here." It was the lamest excuse I've ever heard. This was flagrantly inappropriate for her to do this, and she's doing it for her friend who actually is complicit in Epstein stuff.
Well, she did say someone named Jeffrey Epstein.
Okay.
She said that. She said someone, Robby.
Yeah,
She said
yeah.
So, I mean, if you don't accept that, then you also can't accept that President Trump doesn't know the people that he pardoned that are Bitcoin billionaires that give money to businesses.
Oh, that's...
So we all are on the same page of, like, not knowing and making mistakes, right?
We're not all on the same same page. Stacey Plaskett knew who he was.
Right, so Stacey Plaskett's argument, and since she's a delegate of the Virgin Islands, and you know the Virgin Islands has a lot to do with Jeffrey Epstein, she wanted more information, and she thought that by going directly to the source, she can get more information. That is what she's arguing. So let's get to the bottom of it. If anything, there's the thing that people are on the same page about now that we're here is releasing more information in regards to Epstein. When it comes specifically to the Virgin Island, when it comes specifically to politicians that may have been linked to him, celebrities, anybody with money, financiers, treasury records that we have and who he was paying and why, foreign governments and why. And so I think if somebody is trying to do their due diligence, because they should have all the information if they are representing the Virgin Islands, they should have all the information. If they're trying to get to a source and get information, share that. Because if we want everything released, share the exchange between she and Jeffrey Epstein in full. Every single exchange they ever had.
We're sharing it, and it's bad because people are worked up about maybe a birthday card that Trump might have allegedly sent Jeffrey Epstein 30 years ago. Stacey Plaskett hit Jeffrey Epstein up for donations after his time in prison. He relocated to the Virgin Islands after the prison stint. That is where he picked to set up further behavior. There are allegations that occurred on the Virgin Islands. He tried to change the sex offender laws of the Virgin Islands to make it easier for him to come and go.
I don't think we should protect anyone that has a relationship with Jeffrey Epstein that was leading to him or enabling him to continue to commit crimes and making it easier for him to commit crimes.
I'm saying that is Stacey Plaskett.
Well, she's saying something different. So that's all. I'm just telling you what.
And Jasmine Crockett, in her defense, is like, well, Lee Zeldin got a donation from Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, that's so lame.
I don't think
that's just pathetically lame, obviously.
I don't think that the right path to go down in this instance is to figure out who is more connected to Jeffrey Epstein. I think it's that everybody that is connected to Jeffrey Epstein after.
And Lee Zeldin is not connected to Jeffrey Epstein.
I know. He's not. This is the wrong person. And it's hilarious. It's a ridiculous miscalculation. And you laughed very hard in the office. I was like, well, that sucks for her.
Yeah.
I smirked because I was like, damn, that's messed up.
Yeah.
I think that we need to get to the point is that there's survivors that are on Capitol Hill trying to really figure out what the next steps are. There are people that really want these files released. And I think we're just in a predicament where the more we make jokes out of this and do things like the stunt that Jasmine Crockett pulled, the more
I'm glad you concede it's a stunt.
I don't think that it's a good idea. There's real people that are affected by all of this.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a big deal.
Well, yes, and frankly, it speaks to a concern that some Republicans or Trump world people have raised, which is you're just going to start doing random guilt by association. And here she was attacking Republican figures for being linked to a different Jeffrey Epstein. That's kind of exactly what the fear is, that we're going to just go wild and start accusing people of things.
I told you it was not a good look.
Yeah.
It was not a good look.
It's hard
I could
to
see
defend
that was not a good look. I don't think she should go on CNN and try to just say it was an error, and you just you're overwhelmed with the amount of lengths that you're going to try to make sure that everyone connected to Jeffrey Epstein is exposed, and so you made a miscalculation. I think that's the best response to this, but that doesn't mean that people should stop going to great lengths to get people the answers that they've been calling for on both sides of the aisle, correct?
Of course, and I would like to see a lot more about Stacey Plaskett's relationship to Jeffrey Epstein, which seems very, very bad. Larry Summers has now stepped back from his role because of him being compromised. Stacey Plaskett is every bit as compromised and more so, so I don't know why she's still going to be in office. This censure vote failed because Republicans were worried about Democrats censoring Corey Mills over various accusations against him. Nancy Mace, a Republican, has actually made a stolen valor accusation against him. But they all want to get together to protect themselves. That's our Congress. How lovely.
Right. It's not a good look for anybody. No. Senator Lindsey Graham is vowing to sue over the Arctic frost investigation. We'll look at his comments right after this.